What is going on, everybody? This is Kevin for Manaleek here on YouTube. I'm going to do an 8-4. As I said in my Swiss draft, I would start doing some 8-4s. And here is an 8-4. My rare is Undercity Plague, which I've seen work in a video for someone before, but it is not what I'm going to be taking. It's very slow, not so hot. Cinder Elemental is fine, but I'm not going to first pick it. Gridlock. It's a cool picture, and it's an okay card. Not going to take it. I'm almost certainly going to take the Grizzly Spectacle here. In my first draft, I was also Orzhov. My understanding is Orzhov's getting to be a bit overdrafted, but it is by far the best card in this pack. I do love Grizzly Spectacle. It's just a great removal spell. Other good cards, Syndic of Tithes. There's 2 armored transports in this pack, so that's something. Totally Lost is slow. I'm not a huge fan. It's alright. I would play it, but it wouldn't be something I'd pick early. So really for me, the cards I would consider are Cinder Elemental, Syndic of Tithes, and Grizzly Spectacle, but I'm just going to take a Grizzly Spectacle. Okay, well, White of Precinct 6 I actually like. It can be at worst a 2-mana 1/1, which obviously is not great, but in the middle to late game, especially if you have a way to have your opponent discard some stuff like Grizzly Spectacle, or Balustrade Spies are really good with the white. The white's just pretty good. Plus it keeps me in one color black, so I could end up going blue or white. I do prefer Orzhov over Dimir, because Dimir's just... I mean, I don't think it's as bad as everyone thought it was originally, but it's definitely the weakest of the guilds. If no one's playing it, you can have some okay cards, you can get some okay evasion stuff, and if you get some good cipher cards, which there aren't really a ton of them, but if you get that on some kind of evasive guys, you can do okay. Assault Griffin's fine too, but definitely taking the white here. Okay, here we have nothing too great. Executioner Swing, it is removal. I played it in my last draft, which was a Swiss draft. It's not great. Syndicate Enforcer is also not great, but it is a 3/2 extort. It's definitely playable. You probably tell, I mean, I actually don't mind Corpse Blockade. I've heard someone say this isn't a card before. I actually think it's fine. If you're playing Orzhov or Dimir, you need a way to block the ground. It's a 1/4 for 3, and if you really want to, you can block and then sacrifice a guy to give it Death Touch to kill one of their good ground guys. I actually like Corpse Blockade. I wouldn't take it over the Syndicate Enforcer. I might take it over the Executioner Swing. The other choice is Pit Fight, which is just by far the best card in this pack. And it doesn't go well at all with my other cards, but I'm going to take it anyway and try to be flexible here, because it is by far the best card. Okay, and it turns out that it again looks like the blue and black cards have completely dried up. At least it could just be those 2 packs, but Scatter Arc I could play, but I don't really want to. Prophetic Prism's fine. Guildgate would be fine if we knew we were going to stay in those colors. This pack's actually just pretty bad all around. Simic Charm is probably the best card in this pack. Gives you flexibility. It is a color. I mean, it does require me to go 2 color that are different than my 2 black cards, which is fine. That's why we took a Pit Fight. We're trying to be flexible. I do like Gruul better than Simic generally. I think it's a stronger, but I think it's a stronger guild, but I don't really love Ruination Worm. It's fine, but it'll go late. At this point, I'm going to take the Simic Charm, and if I have to go green, I can play either Gruul Splash Blue, or I could just play a Simic deck if it's open. And as I say that, this pack is filled with black and white cards. So again, I'm just going to try to take the best card in the pack, and at this point I haven't figured out what that is yet. Luminate Primordial is fine. 4/7 Vigilance, exile a creature. I mean, that's good. It's 4/7 with removal. It's very slow. If I probably wouldn't take that, especially since I don't have a single white card yet. You're talking double white to play that card. So I'm probably either going to take the Syndicate Enforcer, which at least goes with my black cards, or the Angelic Edict, but again, I mean, if I play black, I'm going to play another color. It'll probably be white, but at this point I'd rather stay open, so I'm just going to take the Syndicate Enforcer. Okay, so there's there's 5 good cards in this pack, and they're all on top. Slate Street Ruffian's playable, but I'm not going to take it here. So at this point, I've got 3 black cards, a red or a green card, and a green and a blue card. So I'm all over the map. Smite is obviously a nice card. I don't have a single white card, but again, it goes with my black cards, so I'm not too worried about that. Slaughterhorn is a nice Gruul type. I mean, it would work fine in Simic also. Ember Beast, I actually like better than Slaughterhorn, probably, but I don't have any red cards. Pit Fight, I'm going to consider a green card at this point. Basilica Guards is fine. I'm going to take the Slaughterhorn, though. I am kind of between 2 decks at the moment, which isn't great, but I'm hoping here somewhere we're gonna get something that's going to tend to point us towards one of these colors being open. The Gutter Skulk Spine, just a 2/2 for 2, but if you're playing an Orzhov or Dimir deck, you need some early trades versus an aggro Boros deck, so Gutter Skulk is pretty good at doing that. If I want to pick a green card, Miming Slime, it's not amazing, but it's okay. At this point, since my colors are all jacked up, I might just take the Prophetic Prism, and I'm going to take the black card, actually. Because even though my colors are all messed up, if I end up in a black deck, I'm not going to be playing green or blue. I mean, I could play blue, but I'm not going to be playing a Simic Charm, and I'm not going to be playing green or red. So if I end up with black, I'm either going to be black and white or black and blue. I'm not going to be playing these 3 cards. And if I end up playing these 3 cards, I'm not going to be playing the black cards. So taking a Prophetic Prism is not probably as important as it looks like for my deck, which has a million different colors, none of which are amazing. Again, I'm just going to take the Gutter Skulk here. There's not really anything great. And Night Watch is fine, Zarichi Tiger's fine, but let's just stay in black. The non-foil Armored Transport Wield, which is not surprising. Spire Tracer, I'm not crazy about. I mean, you can put something on him like a Madcap Skills, and he might be okay. Night Watch is fine. I don't like Merfolk of the Depths. I could take Undercity Plague after saying how slow it is, just because, again, I'm not. Even if I play white, I'm not going to really want to be playing Night Watch, so I'm just going to take the Plague. I'm hoping to not play that card, but if the deck works out where I have some guys that are pretty unblockable, maybe I'll go that way. Again, my deck's all over the place right now. Much like the card Totally Lost, that's kind of how I am in this draft. Just totally lost. Not really sure which way I want to be going. I'm going to take it because it is playable. I'm not really playing red-white, so if I end up playing blue, I can play this card since I am light on playables at the moment. I do not want to play any of these cards. Hopefully things will clear up in Pack 2 a little bit. Not that that'll give us any signal as to what will happen in Pack 3, but oh man, I don't want to play Way of the Thief, and I don't have a gate, but I'm going to take it because at this point, if I end up playing blue-black, I'm going to need to play something. Which leads me to the choice between a Scatter Arc and a Midnight Recovery. Ugh. Alright, I'll take the Scatter Arc, what the hell. Wildwood Rebirth, I talked about it before, I think. It's actually not as bad as it seems. It's an instant, and it works pretty good in Gruul, but I'm not hoping to play these cards. Alright, Pack 2. I missed a little time. I started up my second recording for this part of the draft, so I don't hopefully cut out later. There's nothing really great in here in black, which is the one color I'm kind of heavy in. The only great card that really might work in this deck is Kingpin's Pet, and I'm probably going to take it hoping to get some more Extort guys coming back. I don't really want to play any of my blue cards, so I'm fine with that. Other picks, I like Gruul Charm, don't really love Immortal Servitude, wouldn't mind the Court Street Denizen, I think he's pretty good. He or maybe she? She? Not sure. Aetherize is a nice trick, but I'd rather be Orzhov than Dimir if possible. I mean, because of that, maybe earlier I should have taken Smite over some of these other cards, but when I took the cards I took, it seemed like a reasonable choice to keep me open at the moment. I could... Aetherize is fine, I'm not going to take it. Truefire Paladin's great, but I'm really far away from a Boros deck. But I really like the Truefire Paladin. I like him better than the Boros Guild Mage or the Sunhome Guild Mage. The Swine's great in a Gruul deck, but again, I think I'm probably going to stick with my black, and I think I'm probably going to take the Syndic of Tides here. If I were going to try to go Gruul instead, I would take the Croconura. He's really good. In fact, I think it's just a super strong card, but I could take the Phantom also and not play the Kingpin's Pet, but the thing is my blue cards all kind of suck, and Syndic of Tides and Kingpin's Pet are both already better than my blue cards, none of which I want to play. So I'm going to hide those for now. I'm also going to hide the green cards and see... Biomass Mutation is probably pretty good in a Simic deck because you get creatures you control become XX until end of turn, and then if they have counters on them, that still adds on. So if you make your guys 2/2 and your Cloudfin Raptor's already 2/3, then he becomes a 4/5. Obviously that's not what I'm doing in my deck, so it's not really a consideration. But I'm a little lost in this draft, which is okay. I mean, that happens sometimes, because there's just... The only good cards that I see right now are, like, Snapjaw's okay. Phantom is pretty good, and I might take it because I do have some blue cards. And these are the best cards probably in the pack. Aerial Maneuver's fine, but I'm going to take the Phantom since I do have blue cards in case I need to play them. I'm probably going to take the Smite here. Ooze Flux I've seen work really good in the Simic decks. It doesn't seem like it would work that well, but you can put guys into play and then evolve your other guys to keep a constant engine going of Ooze Fluxing. I've lost only one game to that, but it worked very, very well and was pretty much unstoppable once it got online. Obviously not what I'm picking. Again, if I decided to go the red-green way, I could be taking another Croconura here. Also, if I decided to stick Simic, I could have taken the Shamble Shark, which is pretty good. I talked about it in my first draft. I don't like Fortress Cyclops. He's just a 6/3 attacker, so he can be chump blocked and killed too easily for my liking. I'm going to take the Smite. My deck is kind of all over the place, and in an 8/4, I don't expect to win with it at this point, but you never know. I'm not going to give up hope. I'm going to hide that, though. Pit fight, I'm almost... Clearly the guy behind me must be in some sort of Simic or Dimir deck, because all the cards that are coming this way in Pack 2 are our Gruul. So, unless these packs are just loaded with Gruul cards, I mean, the Guild Mage is very good. The Goliath is pretty okay. He's slow, but at least he's really strong when you Blood Rush him. He's really strong. Night Watch is okay, but all the cards here are red-green for the most part. But I'm going to take the Court Street Denizen. It doesn't do a lot for me right now because I don't have any white creatures, but maybe we'll get there. So we went from a very heavy Gruul pack to a pretty heavy Simic pack. The Elusive Krasis is just an excellent card. 0/4 unblockable, evolve, so he can stay back and block almost anything in this format, and if you want, once he gets big and you want to attack with him, you just swing through. This is actually, I think, one of the strongest uncommons in the set. Obviously it has to be in the right deck. I'm going to take the Death's Approach. It's not amazing. I mean, I could take the Cloudfin Raptor also, but I think I'd rather have the removal spell, even though I'm super light on creatures, and my blue is pretty weak. I mean, these cards would be okay in my blue. In fact, let me show all here. I mean, my blue cards I could play. I'm not going to play Scatter Arc. I mean, really, my blue cards aren't good. So even though I could have taken those blue and played these cards, I mean, at least my white cards I have are a lot stronger than the blue cards I have. Here I'm probably going to take... This is a tough call, because the Din Robohor is actually pretty good. 4/4, and if you play him late enough, which you usually do because he's 6 mana, he's just a removal spell. and I might end up having to play blue anyway, and I don't have a lot of removal or a lot of evasion, but I'm going to take the Shadow Slice anyway. I don't like playing 3 colors. I will do it if I have to. That's not the plan at the moment. Din Rovahora maybe is enough better than a Death's Approach, especially right now since I only have 1 Grizzly Spectacle to get cards in the graveyard. But I like the removal better, even though it can just be a brick in your hand. But I don't think I want to play my blue cards, and I don't think I want to splash blue just for the horror, I guess, and the phantom. I'm just going to take another 2/2. Hopefully my 2/2 Gutter Skulks will get there. Here there's really nothing for us at all. In fact, well, there's nothing for anybody really, because all these cards suck. Naturalize is fine in the sideboard. Last Thoughts is fine, I guess. If you have guys with evasion, I'll take it. Snapjaw's fine. The Key Rune is fine. Phantom's actually not too bad. And I guess I'll take it in case I end up having to play blue, even though I don't want to. I'm going to go ahead and hide these other cards that I'm clearly not going to play. And if my deck ends up having to be 3 colors, so be it. I'm going to take the Midnight Recovery. I'm not going to want to play 2 Last Thoughts. I don't want to play a Midnight Recovery either, but at least it's black. And if I have to play it, I can play it. Again, I don't... All these cards are pretty terrible. I guess I'll take the Scatter Arc, that's fine. I'm just gonna hate the Guild Gate. Nobody should get fixing that late. Alright, so going into pack 3, our deck is pretty terrible. Like, pretty darn not good. Frontline Medic is good though. It'd be better if I had more creatures, but I do have 3 Gutter Skulks. If 3 Gutter Skulks can't win you an 8-4 tournament, I don't know what can. I mean, look, he's already eating someone's bones, so I'm basically won already. But, I mean, I'm going to take the Frontline Medic. Other cards, Murder Investigation, don't like. Ripscale, I actually think is pretty good. Obviously not my colors. Nimbus Swimmer, he's slow, but he can just be a huge bomb if you play him late for 6 mana or something, and they don't have a way to get rid of him. Wojak is a very good Boros card. Cloud Fin Raptor, if I was playing blue and lots of creatures, it would be fine. At this point, I don't plan on playing blue. That's the hope, anyway. But for sure the pick is Frontline Medic. Alright, here we got a couple choices. I don't really want to play an Undercity Plague, but I may play it, especially if I can get some more of these guys. That's probably what I'm going to take here. Smog Elemental I've played with. He's fine if you're playing against a whole bunch of flying creatures, which isn't the case, but very often in this format. He's a 3/3 flyer for 6, and then his secondary ability is awesome if they have a bunch of flyers, but that's usually not the case. I mean, it's a fine card. I would play it, but I'm going to take the Death Cult Rogue over it. It gives me a little bit of evasion, and it gives me a chance to play like a Shadow Slice, maybe an Undercity Plague if I'm desperate, which at this point it looks like I might be. Okay, so here's cards for us. I'm not sure where all the Orzhov cards were earlier. I don't think I missed them. I think they just weren't there. But a Foily Gateway Shade, I'm not going to play. I can take the Orzhov Charm or the Basilica Screecher. The Orzhov Charm is pretty good, I think, if you have one of your creatures about to die or getting targeted by removal, you can return it to your hand. You can destroy any creature. That's pretty good removal. At the same token, the Basilica Screecher is just really good. I like the fact that he flies, he extorts, he's an early drop. In this format, you want to be early. You want early drops, and in fact, I'm going to go ahead and hide the blue right now and see what we're looking like without the blue. There's 16 playable, so definitely going to need to hit some stuff. But that only leaves me 10 creatures, and at this point, even though I like the Orzhov Charm and it almost certainly won't will. Maybe the Assault Griffin or the Orzhov Guildgate will. I'm going to take the Screecher here. Okay, so I'm not sure if the guy to our right somewhere decided he wanted to completely change what was happening, or if there were just no cards for us earlier, but Guardian of the Gateless is really good. It's a 5-drop, which is a little slow, but it's a 3/3 flyer, and if you compare this with a Smog Elemental, which costs 6 and 2 black, this is 5, it's a 3/3, and it can block anything, and anytime it blocks something, it gets +1/+1 for each thing it blocks. So this card is just a million times better than a Smog Elemental. I don't think I'm stepping out on any limbs by saying that. In this deck, I'd also be happy with the Basilica Guards, and I would play Syndicate Enforcer, hoping one of those cards will wheel. Probably not, because those are... I mean, a Dutiful Thrall also is fine, but between those three, maybe one of them will wheel. There are some other good cards in here. Ember Beast, the Swine, but the Guardian is our pick for sure. Okay. So finally, we're getting some cards. Our deck, probably still not amazing, but getting a ton better. Got a lot of 2-drops, got a few Extort guys, got a Frontline Medic, which is just a certifiable bomb in limited. When you got 3 guys or more attack, they're indestructible. That is tough to beat. If he stays alive, you're in good shape. And I've finally got a couple white creatures for the Core Street Denizen. Not many, but I think about 3 or 4. Not much I can really do about that when no white creatures are coming. Corpse Blockade would be fine, as I said, I like it, but at this point I'm going to take the removal and Devour Flesh. Here, not a ton of options. Don't really like Voidwalk, although to be fair, I haven't really played it, but it doesn't seem good to me. I do like the Bane Alley Broker, but I've already decided I'm going to play Orzhov. Like I said, I don't love splashing 3 colors, or I don't love splashing a 3rd color, unless I really have just a huge bomby reason to do so. Bane Alley Broker is not that bomb, but I do very much like it. In the right deck, it's slow, but it helps you get through to your cards you need. I could play an Aerial Maneuver. That would actually be okay in my deck, but I think I'd rather play a second Shadow Slice and hope that one of my flyers can just get in for tons of damage. Alright, again, these are decent cards for me. I'm probably going to take the Angelic Edict, because my deck, it's actually pretty quick. I do have a few 5-drops. I probably won't play the Undercity Plague. Debtor's Pulpit seems okay. The Undercity Informer also pretty okay. In fact, that works pretty good with my white and my Death's Approach. So the question is... That also works good with Midnight Recovery if I decide to try to go that way. But I think I'd just rather have the Edict. So that's what I'm going to take. That might be the wrong choice. You go ahead and let me know in the comment section if you think that was the wrong choice. I think it could have gone either way, to be honest. The fact that guy turns on my white and also... my Death's Approach makes it good, but it's a 2/3 for 3. You have to sacrifice creatures to make its thing go, to make its ability work. I don't really have a lot of creatures I want to sacrifice. I mean, I could sacrifice Gutter Skulks, I guess, but at this point I'm trying to be more aggressive as I take the 5-drop. But I'm going to take another Core Street Denizen, because those are good in multiples for sure. More white creatures would make it a lot better, but at the worst it's a 2/2 for 3, which could be worse. You know, here I'm just going to take another Syndicate Enforcer. My deck is not amazing, but it's definitely improved from where I thought it was going to be early on, where it was just completely random looking after about 1 pack. I'm going to take the Ruffian. I don't know if I'm going to play it, but it's hard to block. Okay. So in this pack, as I said, maybe the Guildgate would wheel the... I didn't expect the Assault Griffin to wheel, but I'll take that. I mean, and the Dutiful Thrall I actually might play as well. I'm not going to play either of these cards. I'm not going to play that card, so... And Nav Squad Commandos I could play, but likely not going to. So that's better than I thought. Alright, so... I went ahead and put the cards in that I think I'm going to play. There are a few few options basically I'm considering for my 23rd card. This is basically what I'm going to go with for my first 22, I think. I'm pretty sure every deck wants to run 3 Gutter Skulks, so that's how you know your deck is sick. These are cards that I would consider not playing. A second Shadow Slice, the Slate Street Ruffian, Midnight Recovery, the Nav Squad Commandos, the Undercity Plague, and the Dutiful Thrall. These are the cards that I'm thinking about for my last few cards. I have 14 creatures. I think the second Shadow Slice is good because I have a Guardian which can fly. I have the Death Cult Rogue, which can likely, not always unblockable. There are some rogues out there, but he's pretty good. The Court Street Denizens I'm definitely playing. They're definitely not that amazing in my deck, as I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white creatures. That's not a lot. That's definitely not a lot. But 6, and 6 before I consider these cards. So that, that's not great by any means, but it's okay. I would still rather play them than the other cards I would consider. And again, my blue, I could play Lelian Phantoms, Totally Lost, all 5 drops, Way of the Thief, in a deck with 1 Guildgate, Scatter Arcs, Last Thought, Sky Game. So my blue didn't end up good. Obviously I didn't pick blue, so if I would have went out of my way to pick blue cards, maybe they would have been better, but I didn't, and I don't think I really passed anything too amazing in blue. The Broker I would have taken, but anyways, back to this deck that I actually am going to try to make work. I have 14 creatures. I kind of want to be, I think with all my 2-drops and a few flyers and things, I want some more creatures, and I want to be a little more aggressive, I think. I think I'm going to play the Ruffian, and then for my 23rd card, it's between these guys. I already have 4 5-drops, which makes me not want to play the Nav Squad Commandos, even though it turns on my Court Street Denizens. I could play that and drop one of them. I'm not going to drop the Guardian. I could play this and drop Shadow Slice, one of them, but I don't really want to do that. My deck is a little underpowered, other than maybe being a little speedy. I do have a few Extort guys, but I think I'd rather play the Shadow Slice and hope that I can get it on one of my flyers or get it on one of my guys that can get in at least once or twice. And if you can get this on a guy and deal 6 damage in 1 turn plus whatever they attack for, and if you, that just swings the game so drastically. I don't think I need a Midnight Recovery. My creatures are kind of weak, but there's nothing that I have to. My best card's Guardian of the Gateless, probably, and Frontline Medic. For now, I'm going to keep that in the sideboard. Undercity Plague is pretty slow. Whenever Undercity Plague would be okay, Shadow Slice is just going to be probably better. You pay 1 more mana, and it does have more of an effect. But if you could hit with this a second time, you could hit with this a second time, so you would be dealing 6 damage rather than 2 damage and 2 cards and 2 permanents, which can be lands. So I think, based on that, I'm going to play the Dutiful Thrall, which gives me an extra white creature for my Court Street. It gives me a little ground blocker if I need it, although it looks like I'm hopefully going to be kind of aggressive. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some lands in here. That's probably what I'm going to do, but let's look at colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 white cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 9 to 17. So that's very strongly black, which isn't surprising since I most of the time just picked a black card over a white card early on, since I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Maybe I should have taken a couple Smite. I think there was a Smite back there, and a couple things maybe I should have taken earlier, but it was hard to commit based on the signals I was seeing. Anyway, regardless, I think this will put me at 8 white sources and 10 black, which is what I'm going to run. So I will see you in round 1, and hopefully we can find a way to make this deck get there.